Welcome to Planwatch Walk, the home of great walking and open and honest equipment reviews. Today we are undertaking a equipment review for Helly Hansen, the third in a series, so if you haven't seen the other two, they're well worth watching. And today we are undertaking a review of the Helly Hansen Traverse waterproof technical hiking boots. So just open them up. And here is what we are going to be looking at. So before we get going into the review, let's have a look at the field trial we undertook. So we have undertaken around about 60 miles of walking in these boots. Everything from up on the hills, up on the fells, top of peaks. We've done a 2-day 45-mile walk. Second day 22 miles long was in the pretty much fog, torrential rain the whole way. So they've been given a good old bashing. So before we get into the review itself, let's just have a look at some of the technical details of the boots. And I'm going to put those down the side of the video, but let's pick up a couple of highlights here. Helly Hansen use all of their own technologies in here, of which work particularly well, particularly the waterproofing, the quick drying, the rigidity and the grip. It's their own technologies around there. So let's get into the review itself and the findings from the field trial. I'll just bring one boot out to start off with. So if we start, well, actually no we won't, we'll bring two out. So if we start from the bottom of the boot, we can see here that the soles and the grips, now they work particularly well. This is Helly Hansen's own technology. You can see on side there, that's the max grip on the sole. On wet stones, wet scree, bogs, slippy slopes and everything, they really did give a good performance, a really good grip. So that worked particularly well. Keeping on the base here, if we look at the rigidity of the boot, put on quite a bit of pressure. It do move, but there is a lot of rigidity sitting inside here, and this is where you start to see some of the quality of the boot coming in here. They really are a good level quality boot. So the soles themselves, the only bit of wear that I've found, and this is probably to do with my walking style, is just around inside there. You can see there, similar on the other boot, where my feet have scruffed across. But if we look on the outside, here and here, absolutely no wear at all. So the only little bit of wear is there. As I say, that's probably my walking style. So the quality as well, so if we have a look at the webbing, it's pulling you back in here, the webbing, it's all very good. The toe, hard around here, but again not too hard that it rubs on your toes. So when you're coming downhill, that works particularly well, or if you're knocking into things, rocks, etc., very little vibration comes through. Keeping lower, but now going inside, we've got the Helly Hansen inner sole here, which I used throughout the trial. Can't really see here, but there is give on that inner sole, which is really good when we're out walking. Structure coming up now. So the material around here is waterproof, again Helly Hansen's own waterproof material. As I mentioned before, we were out for 20 plus miles, 22 miles, something like that, and it was raining and there was rivers and floods down paths and all sorts of things. They got a really good going over. The only time a little bit of water got in was before I put my waterproofs on and brought it down, so a little bit came over, but that happens. So I think one of the best trials for waterproofing is when you're going through wet grass, and these certainly stood up to that, just hour after hour of going through wet grass. So they stood up very well to that indeed. We now look at the lacing system. So the lacing system itself, what I do like, I'm just pulling this back in just a little bit here. If we zoom in here, we've got here the first adjustable catch here is quite far back on the boot. Quite often it's just come straight up here. This works particularly well because what it does, it pulls your heel back into the boot itself, which is really good. So when you're going downhill and you want to keep your foot at the back of the boot and not let it slide forward, you can adjust this and pull it tighter a bit around there to keep the heel back. So that I found is a really good feature itself. So we're coming up now. The height of the boot is really quite high around the front here, but again at the back, so when you're walking and you're moving the foot, there's enough movement. If we look at padding and protection, again around here, great padding and protection around here, around the boot area here, and also around inside here. But also that goes for down the side as well. Not as much padding as around the top, but some good cushioning sitting around there. So that's the overall. As I say, the quality of the boot is very, very good. Don't have a problem with this boot at all. I would be quite happy to use this in all terrains when you're out on the hills or on scree or really bad weather. So let's now have a quick look at the performance grade against the key criteria. So as you can see, the boot worked really well in this area. The overall score was about 9.5. The 4 areas that really stood out is support and stability in the boot, traction in the sole, the build quality as I mentioned before, and the general foot protection is very, very good. So overall I would have no problems in recommending this boot. There's a link below to some of the best deals on the market for these boots. If you could use that, if you're buying something, we will get a few pence from Helly Hansen, not from yourselves. So that would massively help us. If you've got this far, thank you ever so much for getting this far. I hope you found it useful. And if you could subscribe and become part of the Plan Watch Walk family if you're not already, fantastic, and thank you very much for that. Thumbs up, brilliant. Comments, I will respond and feedback to you. So I hope you found this useful, and until the next time we meet, either on an equipment review or on a walk video, till the next time, bye for now.